one thing. I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to coin after I say one thing. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight?
Brian, buddy.
Michael, how's it going?
Wow. It's good, man. We have a lot to get to today.
We do. A lot more this week than last week, which is good. A lot more has transpired in this week's sporting events compared to last week.
Yeah, it was like a big explosion of events that went on the past week. And yeah, I mean, we have the schedule release that came out today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off talking a little bit about that, and then the draft lottery situation, some NBA playoffs, and then we have the PGA Championship this week as well.
Yep. And we also have the Preakness, which we're not going to talk about, but that is this week as well.
The what?
Horse race.
All right.
All right, but first, I have a question for you. So we always start this off. You typically ask me a question, but I have a question I want to ask you this time. Put you into the, which I think is a good question. I thought about this for a little bit. You might think it's super easy answer, but I am curious what your response is. Then, if it's something you would do, I want to elaborate on what would force you not to do it. So, I looked this up this week, and I'm gonna go because it's PGA week, right? It's PGA Championship week, so it's gonna be a golf question. I'm gonna go U.S. Open though because there are obviously the qualifiers. A lot of people like to play in the U.S. Open qualifiers, trying to play in the U.S. Open. So, would you rather play in the U.S. Open? No guarantee you make the cut, no guarantee, but you're playing in the U.S. Open. You could get cut, whatever. Or would you take $50,000 cash and use that to go obviously playing tournaments, do all this other stuff you can do because $50,000 is a lot of money, and especially in your world where you're trying to play in tournaments, you're doing all this stuff because it's not cheap. I looked it up. You have to come about top 50, top 47 to get $50,000 at the U.S. Open. I think 47th made $51,000 last year. So would you rather take the cash or qualify, no guarantee you make any money in the U.S. Open?
All right. Well, let's just start it off with this. With how I choose to live my life, money is not the incentive.
Yep. That's fair.
So playing in a U.S. Open, even if it's just 1, 5, however many, I would rather have that experience than take that money.
Okay.
No, not even a question.
Okay.
I
had a feeling you were going to say that. So I had a feeling that was going to be your answer.
If you're a true competitor, you're gonna pick that because I mean that you played in the U.S. Open. I mean that could
open up other opportunities, right?
100%.
That could open up sponsorships. Even if you don't make the cut, but if you play well, who knows what could come out of it? You could potentially qualify for other tournaments. Yeah. What would be the number it would take for you to not play in it, or is there not a number?
I mean, $1 million.
Okay, so if it was someone offered you $500,000, you would still choose U.S. Open over $500,000. Interesting.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there'd be a number that you could get to where you would say
I just gave
no.
it to you.
Okay, well, yeah, $1 million.
$1 million.
So $990,000. You're saying no.
All right, Brian, if you're going to go there.
Okay, I just thought it was interesting because I was curious. Just because being able to play in the U.S. Open,
it's priceless.
It's priceless. What if it was the Masters?
$10 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I would assume that would up the value a little bit.
10. I mean, that's say what you want. I mean, people are going to see that number, and I've talked about this before, but people act like the money that athletes make, they make it seem like it's monopoly money. We're oh, it's only $2 more million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But
it's a lot of money.
If you're talking about a priceless experience, I mean, there's not many people who, for how, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people would take the money, but that's just not how I'm really wired.
Yeah. What if it was just a kind of, what's a random tournament? Valero Open.
The Valspar.
Your Valspar, yeah.
Nothing less than 100.
No, okay, so it would take $100,000 for you to pull out.
Yeah, because then yeah.
Okay,
but a major, especially the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
I'd probably accept 5. I don't know. British Open would be fun.
But I'd say British Open would be sick just because it go overseas, different style golf.
PGA probably not as much.
I was gonna say, is the PGA the one that would be the least that it would take the least?
It's just a boring one.
It is the most boring.
It just seems
it's number 4.
Yeah, it's always number 4.
Some people say it's 5 behind the Players.
I mean, I don't hate that argument.
Mm-hmm.
The Players is. I love when tournaments play the same course every year, like the bigger tournaments. I understand like Doral and Bay Hill, all those, but something about the Players, it's probably like the 17th hole has something to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it feels like a major for the most part.
100%.
Yeah.
Some people say that the Memorial's is the 5th major. I don't agree with that one. No, I think that's just people from Ohio.
I think that was I remember hearing that growing up, but yes, I think you're right. I think that was an Ohio thing where people wanted to make it bigger than it was.
Yeah.
But 100%. Okay, I just wanted to start off with a question. It's good to know. I didn't expect you to go to up to $1 million, but I expected you to say yes from $50,000 for U.S. Open. But I was curious what it would take to get you to not play in the U.S. Open or the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, if I earned my way there, then I'm not going to take the money.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it too. Like if you were to go through the steps of qualifying and you went through the 4 or 5 rounds it takes to qualify.
3,
whatever. I don't know what it is anymore. 3 steps it takes to qualify. Okay, yeah. Good to know. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah. All right. What do you got? What do you got for the NFL? The schedule. Okay, hold on. So there's a show about this.
Yeah, yes, and this is what I want to get into. This is what just real quick. We're not gonna. The schedule just got announced an hour ago. We don't know the break. I don't know the breakdown of every team. I know the Bengals schedule obviously, which sucks per usual.
Sunday night Miami.
Thursday night in Baltimore.
Yeah, but I don't live in Baltimore.
No, I know you don't live in Baltimore. Thursday night Thanksgiving, right? Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they play Thanksgiving at Baltimore.
Wow.
4th year in a row, they played a primetime game against Baltimore on the road. It's bullshit.
I mean, Baltimore's kind of earned it.
But all 4 games in Cincinnati have been at home. Or at 1.
Well,
yeah. I would say the Bengals have earned it just as much as the Ravens have. They've been to the Super Bowl and AFC Championship game.
They don't have an MVP on their team. I understand Burrow's really good, but...
Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, we're not going to go deep dive into the Bengals. I could sit here and talk for 45 minutes about the Bengals schedule. What I can't stand, real quick, is just the process. They announce games starting Monday. They do a handful. They do a handful Tuesday. Then there's all these leaks that pop up, and everyone's trying to piece together the schedule. It's just announce the schedule. Just announce the schedule. Just give us a schedule all at once. Don't piecemeal it. I don't know. It bothers me. It's annoying.
Well, I mean, I know it's annoying, and I completely agree with you, but it also just comes down to, all right, how can we exploit this to the, in the off season? How much money can we make from this? Mm-hmm. And they're doing it. And it is annoying.
They have a show. They have shows. They have 3 shows right now. NFL Network, ESPN.
It was 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Rosters aren't even set.
Yeah, no, not even close. Every team has 91 players on their roster right now.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's stupid. I get it. It's a money thing. They're trying to make themselves relevant as long as possible. And a ton of people will tune into that. A ton of people will tune into. A lot of people love the chasing down, trying to figure out the schedule. I fall victim of it. I sat here on my phone trying to figure out when the Bengals were playing when I knew it gets announced at 7. It's that's what I hate about it. Just give me the damn schedule on Monday and we can move on with our lives. But anyway, that's my quick Eagles though. I think they have Christmas Day, Black Friday, and I don't know. They have a ton of night games.
Opening night. I don't understand why they put the Eagles Cowboys opening night.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like a division opponent opening night.
Well, they could play week 17 and the game won't matter and they'll still get ratings.
Correct. Yes.
You know, so
there's so many people who watch that game regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to hit numbers like, playoff numbers.
Mm-hmm. They put Chiefs Cowboys on Thanksgiving as well. That game's going to
saw that.
That's going to be
insane.
That's going to be insane.
Who do the Lions play?
The Lions play the Vikings, I think.
Oh my God, we're spoiled.
Yeah. And then you have Bengals Ravens at night.
Wow.
The Thanksgiving slate this year is here. We'll do that. We'll do the Thanksgiving and the Christmas slate just for like the holidays. So, it's Lions Packers. Sorry. So, I mean, it's just as good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got Lions Packers in the early window, Chiefs Cowboys, the 4:30 game, and then Bengals Ravens, the 8:20 game. That's nuts.
Yeah. Okay. But I understand it's not in Cincinnati. It's not like you were going to go to that game.
No. It actually works out well because I'll be with my family. So it'll be
and you have season tickets anyway, so you'd have to miss that game.
Correct.
So there you go.
That's a good point. Thank
You're
you
welcome
for making me feel better about it.
You're welcome.
And then Christmas is Cowboys Commanders, which is a pretty solid game.
That's a good one.
Lions Vikings, another solid game. And then you got the Chiefs Broncos. The Chiefs played on the Christmas 3 years in a row.
I thought the Chiefs earned it, but I thought the Eagles were playing on Christmas.
No, they're playing. I thought so too. I think they play the Saturday before Christmas, and then I know they play Black Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the schedule. Just tell me when they're playing.
Yeah.
1, 4, and 8. Sunday.
Yes.
8 o'clock on Monday.
Yes.
8 o'clock on Thursday. I'm actually excited. I'm going to be actually able to watch these games because they're not going to be on at 10 a.m.
That's actually nice. So yeah, real quick. So you hated when you lived in California. You hated the early.
Hated the
early games. Okay.
Purely because
some
my
people
schedule.
love it.
I know, but they don't have my schedule.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And
most people are not working on Sundays.
I love that it's almost 10 o'clock right now, and I can watch the Warriors play after this.
Yep.
I love that. Even if I fall asleep, at least I'm falling asleep watching something that I like.
See something. It doesn't end at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, now what?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I don't watch shows or anything, so.
Fair point. All right, that's NFL schedule. Trey Hendrickson, not going to get into it. I hate it all. And now we move on to whatever's next.
Okay, well. All right, so Monday, some big news hit the NBA world.
Big news.
The lottery.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the lottery first?
I am not a fan of the lottery.
Why?
Because of what just happened.
Okay, what just happened?
I don't think it makes any sense for a team that was in a playing game to have the number 1 overall pick.
100%.
I just don't think it makes any sense. I get you're avoiding tanking and you're trying to help teams avoid tanking. If you want to do a lottery, do it with 4 teams or something.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
The fact that the Wizards and the Jazz are picking are they 5 and 6 or are they 4 and 5?
Yep. 5 and 6.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Here's let me just go on a little rant for you really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually pretty pissed on Monday because of what happened. And it's so predictable. And I even texted you saying I should have called this because it's happened time and time again. Now, I've listened to a bunch of podcasts. I've read some articles on it, and a lot of the people who are in the room say it's almost impossible, or it's actually impossible for them to rig it because there's a guy standing behind the balls, and every 10 seconds he's telling it to stop. Basically, you're randomizing teams playing Madden, and you just never know who you're going to get. But it's just happened too many times, and I brought this up in our group chat. Happened Patrick Ewing. Instead of ping pong balls, they had envelopes, and
that seems like cheating. Envelopes, come on.
Well, apparently one was they froze one of them so you could feel,
who
the colder one,
yeah.
and he goes to the Knicks. That was the first big conspiracy about that. But I mean, The draft was in Chicago in 07 or 08. Whenever Derrick Rose got drafted.
Yeah, that was one of them too.
Chicago guy.
Like, yep.
LeBron went on Pat McAfee's show and straight out said, "Oh, of course Cleveland got the first pick." And then when he leaves to go to Miami in 2010, who gets the first pick? Cleveland. Then not only did they get the first pick then, they got it 2 years before LeBron came back. And when he came back, they got the first overall pick that turned into Kevin Love, and then they made their big three in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. That happened. Then you remember the Chris Paul veto trade?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the New Orleans Hornets were owned by the NBA in that time. They were looking for a new owner. They vetoed the trade. They ended up trading Chris Paul to the Clippers. That next year, they get the number 1 pick for Anthony Davis. Coincidence?
Nope.
Okay. So then, remember the Anthony Davis trade when they traded when the Lakers traded all those assets to get Anthony Davis? Mm-hmm. So New Orleans loses their first pick, their all-star, their probably top 8 guy in the league. They win the lottery again.
Yep.
For Zion.
Yep.
There's another one. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, there was another one. It was a recent one.
Yeah, why am I not thinking this? I had it all written down. I can't find it.
It was a recent one. Hold on.
We talked about the LeBron. We talked about Derrick Rose.
The Derrick Rose one is one that a lot of people forget about. But that was a similar percentage-wise, like similar as what the Mavs, like 1.7. They were like, I think a little bit higher than the Mavs at 1.8% or whatever their chances were. But a lot of people forget about the Derrick Rose one. But yeah, it was Chicago kid coming back to Chicago. As a Bulls fan, I didn't care then, right? You're happy about it then. But in general, lottery.
I'm pulling up the lottery winners really quick.
Over the last few years?
Yeah.
Because I know we had them listed out.
Not the Sixers, Cleveland Hornets.
Cleveland got it twice, right?
Cleveland got it 3 out of 4 years.
That's nuts.
What are we even doing?
Yeah,
and there's teams that have never won it. That's basically what I'm saying. Is like, I'm fully on the side of like, all right, nothing's real anymore. Mm-hmm. And we're doing this to prevent tanking, which I think in a perfect world, that'd be great if it actually worked. But I think if you're bottom 4 team, you should have a better than 14% chance. But then again, that will incentivize you to lose more. Like the fact that the 76ers did what they did this year and got a top 3 pick is insane to me. Mm-hmm. They blatantly tanked. And that's so annoying. I mean, Utah did as well, and it makes me happy that they're out. But at least like the Wizards were just bad.
Wizards sucked, man.
Your best players are Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, and everyone was like freaking out when Kyle Kuzma went to the Bucks. He's fucking terrible. I'm pretty sure there's 5 million votes to send Kuzma to China and do hard labor. I saw some post about that.
So going into the lottery, do you remember who had the best odds to get the number 1 pick?
Yeah, it was
Utah, right?
Utah, Wizards, and
because they're the bottom 2.
Charlotte all had 14%.
Where did Charlotte end up at?
4.
It's nuts.
I mean, okay, so what the NBA really wants is to have all 30 teams compete, right?
Yeah.
And they're all competing for the play-in spot. I think the play-in actually helped, but I think it helped and it hurt because it made the worst teams get even worse. Mm-hmm. So I just like there's too many coincidences about this stuff, and then then Nico Harrison makes the worst trade in NBA history, and then gets rewarded.
Yep.
I just don't understand.
I mean, everyone was up in arms. Like, it's not just us. Like, everyone was at, like, players tweeting crying faces. Like, of course this is going to happen. Like, shock. Like, Luka tweeted something or posted something on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Tons of players did it. Kyrie Irving even, like, posted a bunch of laughing faces. Like,
it's just crazy to me. Like, especially with the New Orleans thing, when they were the Hornets, when they veto the trade and the NBA owns that team and they're trying to get a buyer, and then they give them the first pick. Like that's, and then the LeBron thing, obviously he's going to go to Cleveland.
Yep.
Then when he leaves Cleveland, they give Cleveland, I think it was Kyrie. And then when he comes back, it was Andrew Wiggins that year, but they traded for Kevin Love. I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable.
The Pelicans twice after the CP3 trade, and then after Anthony Davis trade, and then obviously the Mavs this week as well. Or Monday. It does feel shitty that a team gets rewarded with the first overall pick and Cooper Flag. Probably, would you say he is the best prospect in the last, probably since Zion?
What are you talking about?
Cooper Flag?
Wemby?
Oh, Wemby, that's right. I completely blanked on Wemby. Never mind. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, Paolo, I think he's a lot better than Cooper Flag. Definitely last year there was no number one picks.
There was no number one picks last year. Yeah.
But okay, so there's just a lot of I'm just looking at the odds. Like the Mavs odds were 1.8. Atlanta last year was 3. And then you had Timberwolves, Pistons, Magic, and Spurs all at 14. Cool. Pelicans in 2019, 6%. And then I think that year, or 2020 is when they changed it, because from 2015 to 2018, there was a 25% chance. Cleveland in 2014 had a 1.7% chance. Wonder why. Cleveland wins it 2 years in a row. I feel like if you win, you know what they should do? If you win the lottery, the Mavs win the lottery, let's say they suck again next year, they can't be in the top 4. Yes, they need to do something, make your team better. You just had the first overall pick. Do your job, make your team better.
Do something to make your team better. You got the number 1 pick, you won the lottery. The highest you can pick. If you win the lottery, you pick 5. Right? Like if you win it again, you pick 5, everyone else
moves
whoever
up
came second, moves up a spot or whatever.
No, they need to do something about that. I think that would actually work.
Yeah, because it would force, to your point, you can't tank because the highest pick you're going to get is 5. Yeah. So you're not going to get number 1 pick again. If you want the 5th pick, great. But as we've seen in the NBA, a lot of the times those picks 4 to 7, kind of up in the air, right? Like there's always prospects, right? But I feel like it's not as much of a home run as maybe it is in the NFL a lot of times for those top picks. Obviously, a lot of them are good players, but I think that's actually a pretty good solution. Like you cannot win the lottery 2 years in a row. You are forced. You got the number 1 pick. You are forced to play well. And if you don't play well, you get pick 5. Although I don't think it's going to happen to the Mavs this year because I think they actually have a pretty good roster. I mean, you go from a play-in team to getting the
Kyrie's not going to be playing.
That's true. That's a good point.
But still, I mean, you have Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington.
Yep.
They just don't have a point guard, but I'm sure they can, sign Dennis Schroeder or something, and you'll be fine. But it's just weird, man. How this all works. Yeah, and I hate to say that because I don't want to believe that.
I know that's what it is with all sports. It's the way it is in the NFL too. Like all this stuff that's happened with the refs and some of these, we talked about it a lot during the NFL season because it kept coming up, and it's a hotter topic now with social media technology. I'm sure back in the day it could have potentially been even worse, but you didn't see as much of it, right? Because you don't have access to all of it. It sucks though. You don't want to believe it. Like deep down, do I believe it? Yeah, but you don't want to because it sucks.
But just the fact that, I mean, any other team.
Yeah, literally any other team.
Any other team to win it.
And then I saw
the team that was literally playing for a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw the Bill Simmons clip where he predicted it a month and a half ago that now they're going to end up with the first overall pick after they trade.
It sucks to think like that, man, because I really do enjoy it. But, I mean, obviously, you can't really rig the games unless, everyone's involved. But it's just annoying because it's, as a Wizards fan, they actually sucked.
Yes.
They actually couldn't win a game.
Yes.
Jordan Poole was averaging 28 points, shooting 40 times a game.
I do.
He's just bad.
I do think there is something to the whole tanking where like a team can definitely tank, right? Like you can going into a season, you can know you're not going to be good,
Yeah.
not sign certain players, give
But
players minutes who might not deserve it or earn it, but like, hey, let's try these guys out. It's hard for players to tank, though. I do think there is a mentality.
No, they just put their, they like it was kind of like what Philly was doing. You remember when they got Quentin Grimes in that Mavs trade, and he started putting up 40 points a game, and he's winning all these games for him. They started sitting him in the second half.
Yeah, right.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
like what like. And it sucks when you think about like this angle of it is like, what if like you have that one family that could probably afford to go to 1 or 2 games a year and they go to that game.
Yeah, it sucks. That's so shitty. Yeah.
So like, I understand you want to be good, but just be better at your job. Don't extend Joel Embiid for another 4 years when you don't know if he can walk tomorrow. Don't sign Paul George for 4 years, $200 million because he's a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks.
And I have, so this has been a big topic of conversation on the NBA lottery, is there's certain people out there, like big names, like I saw Greeny was talking about it today, a lot of people think the NFL should adopt like a lottery.
No.
I think it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Don't touch the NFL. It's a perfect product. Stop adding games.
Yep.
Stop. I mean, it's just all these. Again, we've probably talked about this, but like, how much is enough?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when's enough? Like, when you have something good, don't keep adding to it until it breaks.
And that's what someone said, that they were like, the NBA makes enough money where they like, yes, would it be a money grab and would it be a ton of eyes on it if it was the NFL? Absolutely. Like, you would get so many views if they did a lottery for, even if it was the top 5 teams. Because NBA is what, 14 right now?
14.
Yeah, 14. So even if the NFL were to do like the top 5 it would draw a shit ton of attention. Do you know what also would draws a lot of attention? What they're already doing. Just announcing it like they are. It's already drawing enough attention.
They just did a 2-hour show on a schedule release.
Yeah. And I'm curious. I'm going to look up what the viewership was for those.
It's probably record breaking. It's probably better than an NBA, MLB, and NHL regular season game put together
combined. Exactly. Like, you don't need to bring in any of this extra shit to it. I'd be pissed if the NFL adopted.
I mean, the cap goes up every year.
Yeah.
I mean, every CBA negotiation, everything's just going up and up. Like, you won, you got it.
Yeah, you're set. You don't need any more views.
You've done it. It's kind of like what I'm afraid they're going to do with college football is apparently they're going to add 2 more teams in the playoff, and like even this year was like a little weird because a lot of teams had like 3 weeks off and other teams had like a week off, and then the 3 weeks off teams lose out of rust or they just weren't as good. You never know, but I just don't know when's enough again.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Because the 13th team in the playoff is mad they're not in, but guess what? The 15th team in the playoff is going to be mad that they're not in.
When you add 2 more teams, yep. Yeah,
I mean,
it's going to be a snowball.
Exactly. It's always going to be like, what about me? So it's interesting. I mean, that was like, I think I had it on because there was a game on after. That was the only reason I had it on.
Oh, the NFL schedule thing?
No, the lottery. But
I actually watched it. I was curious. I had it on in the background. I wasn't like sitting there watching it, but I was curious. I wanted to see who got the first pick. I was also kind of watching for you for the Wizards. I was curious if, I know we texted before it happened, and like it was one of those things I forgot that the lottery was even on until you texted me in the morning and said I can't remember what you said, but it was like it's a big day for, Wizards fans or something. I can't remember. But it
big letdown.
Yeah, it's a big letdown. I walked out of the room with the TV on. I walked back and saw they had like pick 5, and I was like,
6.
Oh shit.
I was like, okay, I'd be happy with a top 3 pick.
Yep.
And it's 6. And I'm like,
6,
awesome.
It's unbelievable.
We're gonna get Jeremiah Fears, who's an undersized guard, and
it's gonna do nothing.
It's just gonna be like a Jordan Poole type.
Yep.
And we're gonna suck again.
Yep. Anybody but the Mavs, and it would have been fine.
I agree. Maybe not the Spurs because they won it last year.
Yeah. Well, when it came down to Spurs and
Philly.
Yeah, like
in the Mavs.
It was just like, oh shit.
I mean, I was kind of rooting for Charlotte. I'm like, all right, at least
Charlotte would be cool. Charlotte would have been cool.
Stays in North Carolina.
He probably would have liked that, actually.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? It seemed like he was pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to take that stuff.
Then there was like pictures of him wearing a Mavericks t-shirt.
Oh, really? Circling?
Yeah, but he's also like a big Celtics fan.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's from up there. So
he's from Boston.
He's from Maine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the other thing I saw was the Mavericks won a coin toss with the Bulls to even have an opportunity to like continue. They literally won a coin toss, a 50-50 coin toss to even have a chance. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
And now the Bulls are going to sign Josh Giddey for 5 years, $150 million.
I know.
Which is a huge mistake.
That. Yeah, he wants 5 years, $150 million.
That's insane. Let him walk.
They're not going to, though. They're going to do it they're going to sign him because he was probably their best player last year.
Yeah.
Probably the best player last year. And they're going to sign him just to pretend like they're doing something good for the team, and then they're going to suck
sucks. Again. I know we talk about this, but it sucks that the Bulls organization sucks, man.
It's run terribly.
If the NBA would be so much better if they were good.
Yes. The NBA was better when they were good. When they like, obviously with Jordan years, and then when Derrick Rose for those 4 or 5 years,
they have a cool thing, like they're like everything about them is awesome.
But they suck, and they'll continue to suck. So I think they got picked 12, which is about where they were expected to get their pick.
That's crazy.
Right there with the Mavs, right about 12, 13.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm out on the lottery. I'm out on the NFL lottery. I'm out on the Mavs. Although I kind of am happy for the fans.
Yeah, but I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's stupid, and they know it's stupid.
They know it's stupid too. Okay. They know it's right.
I saw a
Everyone
meme.
knows it's right.
I saw a meme, and it was a picture of Luka and Cooper Flag, and it was like, "This is what the tariffs were meant to do." And it was Luka, is overseas, and he's American. Yeah. Anyway, also the Giannis stuff that's going around.
Giannis. So I feel like we talked about it briefly last week, but I feel like it's kicking up a lot. There was some, I think it was Monday, the news are leaked or whatever that he's exploring the possibility of leaving.
He's open to exploring trades. Yeah.
Correct. Which I don't think was a secret. I think that was it's been pretty clear the last 2 years or so. Maybe not so much that, but like this year it was pretty clear. So I went ahead and pulled a couple trades that I found, and I'm curious of your take. And I might pronounce some of these names wrong because I don't know all the names. And there's a lot. I mean, some of these trades, man, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Teams get up a lot.
Before you go, he also was on his brother's podcast, and he said that if he doesn't win another championship, he's not going to be able to sleep at night. So he's not going to be able to sleep ever again if he doesn't win again.
Interesting. Yeah. Who signed his brother?
The Bucks.
No, I thought someone else did.
I don't know.
What's his name? Thanos?
Thanasis.
Thanasis. Let me look this up.
Pronounces Thanos.
Does it pronounce Thanos?
No. It's Thanasis, but
Thanasis, that's what it is.
You're a white from Middle America, you'd say Thanasis. Thanos, whatever.
Thanos. Let me see. He played with the Knicks, the Bucks. Okay, so he played for the Bucks. I thought I read something that he signed with
he's older.
So the Celtics maybe. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. He's older. I always thought he was younger. All right.
Yep.
First trade. OKC, and I know we talked to them, and it'd be a fun one for OKC to get. So OKC obviously receives Giannis because a lot of the trades you look up, it's 3 teams, and I try to some of these will be 3 teams, but I try to trying to find ones that I thought were interesting with 2 teams. The Bucks receive Jalen Williams, Hartenstein, Kendrick Williams, and 4 first-round picks. So you have 2025, 2 2025 first-round picks, 2027 first-round pick, 2029 first-round pick, because they have 7 in the next 4 years, I think it was.
I think you would have to add I think you have to take Williams out and add like a Lou Dort, or you could take Hartenstein out and maybe they want Chet. Because you have to be able to sell this. You have to be able to sell this to your the Bucks, because obviously I would get rid of anyone besides SGA for Giannis, just because I understand it's a young team, but also SGA is entering his prime. You have all these young assets. All of them need to get paid. You have 1 million first-round picks. So I feel like if you turn like Chet, I know Jalen Williams is he made the All-Star team and all that, but he's pretty good. I feel like it'd have to be Chet though, and take away Hartenstein.
So I saw on this one specifically, I saw that OKC fan saying no, it's not worth it, which I found surprising.
That's crazy. See, so there's a lot of that. Like you would fall into this category with the Bengals, but you're so in love with your team, especially if it's a young and upcoming team. You just want it to be always young and up and coming. But what's the point if you're like a guy short? I mean, SGA and Giannis would be unstoppable.
It would be. And that's the
perfect combination.
And that's what people were saying. People were saying hey, we have to exactly your point. We have a young team up and coming. We just won 67 games or whatever it was. Why mess with it? There's no need. We have everything we need. We're going to win it this year. All that kind of stuff. But I thought it was interesting that so many fans were like, no, we don't want to do that.
Here's the deal, though. If they win this year, you're not trading anyone.
Fair.
If you win it all this year, you run it back. You don't make any changes. Fair. You keep. I mean, you just won, right? So
yeah, that's fair.
So I guarantee you, Bucks fans are probably because they would love Chet and Jalen Williams. It's an unbelievable haul back, and maybe 2 first-round picks.
They give this one at 4 first-round picks. They have 7.
I think Chet and Jalen Williams and 2 first-round picks, maybe even just 1 is good.
I think
probably 2.
I think Chet allows you to offer less first-round picks. Right?
100%. So 2. And then the Bucks fans are happy. All right, we have Chet. He was a 2nd overall pick. And we have Jalen Williams, who's an all-star. Cut Kuzma. Get rid of him. Don't let Chet or Jalen Williams. Maybe a bag of popcorn? A hot dog? I don't know.
Yeah, hot dog. Hot dog would be good. All right, do you want to go to the next one?
Yeah. Yeah, but really quick, OKC, if they win it all this year, they're not going to be a part of it. They're not going to be a part of anything.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so this is a 3-person trade because you needed 3 people to make the money work for the Celtics.
Okay.
So 3-person trade. I'm trying to pick teams that I thought would be fun. We talked about it briefly before. They'd be fun. OKC, the Spurs, Celtics, teams like that where they already have that's kind of a superstar. And that's kind of what he's looking for, right? He wants to pair himself with a superstar. So this would be Jason Tatum, but obviously now, and we can talk about that in a little bit. But
wait. Oh, with Boston.
Yeah, pairing with a star, he's probably not going to play next year at this point.
No, he's not.
So, all right. So Celtics receive. This is between the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Nets. Celtics get Giannis and Pat Connaughton in his expiring contract, so they're taking on essentially just some dead money of about $10 million.
Dude, you're on the trade machine and everything.
Yes, I'm working it. I'm working it.
I love this.
The Bucks receive Jaylen Brown. So this is what we talked about. This is where you offload this contract. Nick Claxton, 2 years, $44 million, and a first rounder. So the Bucks get Jaylen Brown, Nick Claxton, and a first rounder. And then the Nets get Porzingis and his $30.7 million contract and a first round pick. It's hard to follow 3 teams, I know. But
no, I mean that's pretty good. I just don't think the Nets would do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one where it feels like what are the Nets getting out of it? They're getting a Porzingis who didn't He's probably overpaid at this point and a first-round pick.
I feel like he's a good third guy in a team. He's a bad second guy in a team.
Yeah. Do you think he would fit with the Nets?
The Nets are going to suck until they get like you need. They just don't have anyone. They just have like all these like they have literally all the same player. It's so weird. But I've heard a lot of people talking about the Nets trying to get Giannis, but I don't know why Giannis would want to go there.
Yeah, I don't see a reason. I think that's a worse situation than he's at right now.
Yes, but also they would need to give up. I guess if you're getting rid of Jaylen Brown, they would probably have to throw in. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think this is bad for the Bucks.
No, it's good. I think it's good. It's decent for the Bucks.
Yeah,
it's decent because they're going to win. If they make that trade, they might go 500.
Yep.
But if they don't make that trade and they keep Giannis, they'll probably go 500.
Exactly. Well, you still have Jaylen Brown, like kind of as your
core
star,
piece.
Your core piece.
It's just the tough thing with Dame's done.
Mm-hmm. Dame's done. He partially tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
He's been a shell of himself ever since he got there. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that one. It's just why would the Nets want to do it? That's just
offloading some money, and that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
get a first round pick. The NBA teams do it all the time, where they know they're not ready, so hey, let's offload some of these bad contracts and get a first round pick out of it. But I agree, they don't really seem to be getting much.
Yeah, but I'm kind of with you though. It's like, all right, we get rid of Claxton. Bring a draw in with Porzingis, get a first round pick. But what's that first round pick going to be?
Yep.
Especially if it's Boston's.
It is Boston's, yes.
Yeah, it's late second round.
That's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
But okay. I mean, it's not a bad one. I don't hate that.
Okay. All right, last one. Spurs. So Spurs get Giannis. Another 3-team trade. Pelicans involved. You got the New Orleans Pelicans involved. Yeah. Okay. So you got Spurs get Giannis. Bucks get Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Castle. They get the number 2 overall pick in the draft. So the Bucks get the number 2 pick from the Spurs. And then the Pelicans get the number 14 overall pick and a first-round pick, a future first-round pick.
Hold on.
Hard to follow, I know.
Yeah, just say that one more time.
Yeah. All right, so Spurs get Giannis, that's it.
Okay. Spurs get Giannis.
Milwaukee gets the number 2 overall pick from the Spurs. Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Stephen Castle, and then the Pelicans, Stephon, whatever. That's too deep for me. That's too deep for me. Pelicans get the 14th overall pick this year, and then a future first round pick.
From who?
It says via Atlanta, so I'm assuming it's from Milwaukee.
Okay.
Because it's an Atlanta pick that was traded.
I don't hate that one. That one just speeds up the timeline with Wemby.
Yes.
Pretty fast.
Would you rather the Spurs keep their number 2 overall pick?
I think.
Who right now is projected to go number 2 overall?
The dude from Rutgers who's really good. Not Ace Bailey, the other guy, Dylan Harper.
Dylan Harper, yeah.
He's good. He's really good. I
think it's pretty good for Milwaukee too, though, to get the number. Like, you're gonna be bad. It's your chance to get a potential cornerstone player with the 2nd overall pick. Pelicans get 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. You didn't have any Houston trades in there?
No Houston trades. Do you have a good Houston one?
Yeah, I think Houston has the best chance to either get him or Kevin Durant. So, Sengun, All-Star.
Yep, I like Sengun. The only reason I like Sengun is because I placed a lot of bets on him. He's been pretty favorable to me. But anyway, go ahead.
Jabari Smith, former 2nd overall pick.
Yes.
Jabari Smith, Cam Whitmore, another lottery guy, and 2 first-round picks for Giannis.
This year, for what years? This year or future? At any point? Who cares?
At any point.
Yeah.
Pick them.
Yeah.
I feel like Houston has the best. Houston or who's your first one? Or OKC? I think those two are like
OKC.
Unless
I think it's OKC.
If OKC doesn't win it all again.
Sorry, we're a little delay.
Houston's got so many assets, and then you have then Houston has Van Vliet, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, the guy that didn't even play, Reed Shepherd, who is the 6th overall pick. Then Giannis, Amen Thompson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they'd be so good. Mm-hmm. That'd be a fun team. God, it's just crazy with the NBA. The reason I love the NBA so much is there's so many narratives around it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're always playing fantasy basketball.
That's true. I feel like NBA, you're definitely more playing like it's almost like dynasty fantasy where like you can do whatever you want. Like future first round picture trade all the time. Like money's tossed around a lot more than it is in the NFL.
Yeah. 100%.
It's interesting. I'm curious to see, but I think I do think OKC, I mean, they have 7 first round picks in the next 4 years or whatever it is. Like no one is going to have that kind of capital, and they have a solid core that if they need to, they can part ways with a few of their players in order to get them.
No, I agree. I mean, I think Giannis is a guy. I mean, would you trade Luka for Giannis? This is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the Mavs got Anthony Davis and that's it.
Yeah,
is insane.
Did they get it for any picks? I can't remember.
I think
they got one first round pick.
They no.
Or no, 2nd round pick. It was a 2nd round pick.
Was it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look it back up. We need to revisit it one more time because
man. But anyway, back to the lottery thing. It's all for ratings.
Oh yeah.
All for ratings. It's just crazy.
I wonder, can you bet on what team he's going to end up with? Probably.
To be honest, probably when it comes to before or more real, more towards the.
So the Lakers got Luka, Markieff Morris, Maxi Kleber, and then Dallas got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick. So they did get a first round pick.
I don't like how they can trade picks so far advance.
Yeah, I think when it's 2029, it doesn't really feel like they got a pick.
Yeah, that's in 4 years.
That's in 4 years. They're picking an 8th grader right now.
That's insane. That's insane.
But yeah, real quick, we should touch on state of the playoffs.
Oh,
RIP Jason Tatum.
Did the Celtics win?
I think so. They were up by a lot when we got on.
Hold on, let me check my
127 to 102. They covered.
Yes, and the over.
They covered. I did do Golden State money line for like 375 right before we got on the podcast. So.
All right, so let me ask you this. So right now, I put 25 to win 1,000 on this bet. Celtics minus 5.5 in the over hit.
Okay,
both those hit.
Still alive.
Now,
Warriors money line.
Warriors to win.
Yeah.
And the over at 203.5. Cash odds at $70. Do I do it?
No. Fucking no.
Okay, they're down 6 right now.
No, you don't do it. I mean, it's not even like you've hit 2 of the 4. The potential payout's $1,000. You put 20 on it, and it's 50. No.
75.
If it gets up to like 79. 200, then maybe. I should have cashed out.
If it gets up to 200, that means Golden State's winning by 20.
No, because maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So then I'm going to hold out. Maybe if it reaches 100. I do this all the time, and I usually let it ride. But $1,000 payday.
We went through this like 2 days ago.
We did.
we did the same thing. We did Knicks money line and the over, and then we did Warriors money line and the over. At halftime, I'm like half asleep. I'm like waking up trying to check.
I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during that game.
I fell asleep during the game. I was trying to stay awake as long as possible because I was trying to get to the cash out as high as possible. So this was it was a similar bet. I had a couple bets. It was a $25 bet to win like 300 or something on that parlay. The cash out was like 171 at one point, and I was like, "Nah, I can't do it. I'm not a cash out kind of guy. Like I just can't do it."
Neither am I, man. Neither am I.
And then I had another bet that was just the money lines that was like 25 or $30 to win like 180, and that got up to like 90. I should have cashed out that one or something and then let the other one ride.
You know what I need to do? You know how I have like these buttons I can press?
Yes.
You know, like my favorite one.
Playoffs, baby. Yeah, there you go.
One more time.
Playoffs, baby. Okay.
I need to get one of the Giannis music video that just, when it says it's not about the money.
That's actually would be good. That would actually be good.
That's a good
that
one.
would actually be good. I like that.
I'm sorry, I just totally derailed what you were saying.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say we should touch on the Jason Tatum news real quick.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, that's sad. That's really sucks. Like it was such a good game too. Like that was such a good game. Another good comeback by the Knicks. He was unbelievable. There was just that one stretch where he took like 12 shots in a row that he missed. And I'm exaggerating, it wasn't 12 shots in a row, but it was kind of when the Knicks were making the comeback in the third quarter. Yeah. It just seemed like every time he touched the ball, he was going to shoot it. But yeah, what do you have, 42 when he went down?
Yeah, with like 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left. And then, I mean, you saw it and you knew, right?
Immediately.
The way that it happened. And it is a bummer because he's probably not going to play next year now, which sucks for basketball.
He's for sure not playing next year, yeah.
Sucks for basketball. I think this forces the Celtics to have to do something, like to make a trade. I can't remember where I was listening to some podcasts and they were kind of saying the same thing, that they were already planning to go in, and we've talked about it, right? Like kind of give it one more year with this. They won championship last year, give it another year with kind of like your core. I just don't know how it's going to work from a money standpoint. Their payroll is going to be like $500 million coming up for next year or whatever it is. So they were going to need to make some changes anyway. And I think it's kind of a season to make some changes, especially if you're not going to have him. Your expectations aren't going to be as high.
No, 100%. I think it's almost, if he comes back to what he was or what he is, it's almost kind of like that off year where Steph was hurt, Clay was hurt, and they got the number 2 pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it was James Wiseman, but it could have been LaMelo Ball. It could have been Franz Wagner, you know? So maybe trade Jalen, maybe trade Porzingis, kind of keep that core. No one's going to trade for Drew Holiday because he's making too much money and what he does isn't enough for, I think he's like 2 years, $100 million, something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just maybe be a gritty team. I don't know, man. That's tough because could you imagine buying that team for $6 billion and then being like, hold on, how much is our roster?
Yes.
500 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do we win all the time? Oh, we're not going to win next year because our best player is possibly the worst, the worst possible injury you can get. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kevin Durant went through it and he came back perfectly.
He came back fine. And I feel like, I mean, obviously Kobe's, I don't think was as bad. It wasn't ruptured.
Well, Kobe was 38.
Yeah. But he
37?
came back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's Kobe though. I mean, that's.
I think he'll come back fine. But yeah, it sucks. He's 27, so you lose like this is his prime basketball career, right? You lose a year of his prime. It sucks. As a fan, that's like your worst fear, especially if your teammate, like any sport, you make the playoffs and your star player goes down of injury at the end of the season. So
at least they won last year.
Yes, that's true. At least they have that coming up.
At least they got one.
Yeah. But yeah, I think obviously 3-2, I thought they were going to be completely deflated coming into today, but obviously they won the game tonight. I still think the Knicks win that series though.
So many people texted me today, hey man, we got to bet on the Knicks. They're underdogs. Not me, dude.
That's what I did. I did
not me. Not me. I was like, the Celtics are coming back. They're coming back. Jaylen Brown, Derek White. I'd rather have Derek White than Trae Young. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
I'd rather have anyone.
But it's good defense, man.
But not Kyle Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
He's not been great on deep. I mean, Derek White put up 30 points tonight, so what are we even talking about? Anyway, what am I talking about? All right, so
Nice got off the rails.
yeah, I'm tired, man.
Me too.
Anything else? Dude, these playoffs have been awesome. I
Yeah,
know I say this
really
every pod, but like they've been
really good. Cavs stink. That we'll just end on that. Cavs stink. I know they had some injuries this series, but
Cavs do stink.
I think that's what you said. You texted me yesterday. Said, or was it today? No, yesterday. Was it today?
I said the Cavs look bad, and you go, they stink.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point proven. They stink.
They do.
But yeah. So we don't need to get too in depth. We went in depth last week. Next week we might know. Some of the series might close out by next week, which will be good. So we'll kind of have an idea of what the conference finals are going to be. So I'm hoping for Knicks Pacers. I think that'd be fun.
Pacers are awesome.
And then Timberwolves.
They've got a fan in me. They're my team the rest of the
Pacers?
playoffs.
I kind of want to put. I think they're one of the lower odds to win it. I kind of want to ride them the rest of the playoffs and just throw a little bit on them to win. And then I like the Nuggets because I like obviously like Jokic, but I think I would rather see Timberwolves and OKC. I think
that'd be a good series.
Anthony Davis is awesome.
Anthony Davis?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Sorry. We've talked about Anthony Davis so much in the last couple of weeks that it's just.
That Luka trade has just been a topic of every week. Mm-hmm. I feel. Yeah, and then also this weekend we have
PGA Championship.
And
have you placed any bets?
So, I was listening to some things about it. The weather's been terrible.
Yes,
it's super soft, but they have those things under the greens that they can make them firm, which is the worst combination when fairways are wet and greens are firm.
Oh, it's impossible.
Can't run anything up. So I think
you can't hold anything, right? You can't. Yeah.
Unless you hit the ball really high and really far. And so I think Rory or Bryson are two. I might put I don't like Rory, but I might put money on him because that guy bombs it and he hits it super high. And I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Scotty Scheffler is the best ball striker on tour. So
I put $100 on Scotty. So
attaboy, Brian. Attaboy. All right, well. That's pretty much all I got for that. I haven't really followed golf.
I sprinkled a little bit on Xander just because he's number 3 in the world right now, and he kind of had like 4th or 5th best odds. So I just
those 3 guys are paired together the first 2 days too.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. I'm kind of pumped that those guys are paired together. I did Ludwig again. I don't know why.
Can't quit him.
I know I can't. I keep going back to the well. I sprinkled a little bit on him as well, and then I did Scotty. I don't know. This is I never do that with Scotty. I never bet on him to win tournaments because his odds are always so shitty. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it this time.
He's minus 110, top 5.
That's insane. Like insane. I think he's
looking
plus
at these odds for the
425.
first time. I'm trying to think.
He's plus 425. Yep. I got him at plus 425, which just kind of sucks. But I did it anyway because I said I just was like I have to do it. But yeah, that's it. I'm excited to watch it again. It's one of the few I watch the majors and then I watch like a few other tournaments, and it'll be one that I'll like tomorrow while I'm working or whatever. It'll be on in the background. I'll be watching it. Do we want to do for bets this week? Do we want to do NBA or do we want to do PGA?
What do we have this weekend for? I think we should NBA. Just do. I think since it's a major, we just need to do golf.
I agree because there's only 2 games you could really bet on. One of them's tomorrow for NBA. So I think you're right. I think we do golf this week.
Okay.
All right. So to go over the bets last week, we both went 2-2. So I'll go first.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So, and I think I'm going to tweet these out tonight to make sure we get them out before the tournament starts tomorrow.
Good idea.
All right. So I'm going to go top finishes. I'm going to go Justin Thomas, top 20. Kind of goes against a little bit of what you just said, but
no, I like Justin Thomas. I was going to put money on him to win. Damn. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll go Jordan Spieth top 20 at plus 175.
Didn't think he'd go that far down the list.
There's a lot of talk about him winning this to get the career Grand Slam. So
is this all he needs?
Yeah.
Okay, that could be a little bit of just because Rory that'd be cool. I didn't realize he was only.
Yeah.
When was the last time he won a major?
The British Open.
Interesting. Maybe he won the Masters. Okay.
2018.
I kind of want to go Brooks, but I don't really trust him. He hasn't really feel like I don't really watch Live, and I just feel like he hasn't played that well in the PGA events he's played in. Bryson's that's nuts too. Bryson's minus 225 top 10 or top 20.
Mm-hmm.
What is he top 10?
He is minus 110.
Minus 110. I'll do Bryson minus 110 top 10.
All right, I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna pick a I'll go Ludwig top 20 minus 105 just because I'm gonna pick a really random one for you
for last.
Yeah.
You said what was it?
Minus 105.
Minus 105. Okay. And then for me, my last one. I'm going to go back to top 20. I kind of want to do like a long shot for this one as well. I don't want to do like...
I've scrolled down way too long to pick one of these guys. Michael Block?
Yeah, he's in it.
I
think he got what? 2-year exemption
last.
Or something? What is he to make the... I might put him to make the cut just for fun.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He hits it nowhere.
Yeah, probably not bad. All right, so I'm up. I'm going to go... Give me Minwoo Lee. Top 20.
He's one of the guys that hits it the furthest and highest. So
that's exactly why I did that, Mike, because you gave me the feedback on what you thought, and I trust you over my judgment when it comes to this stuff.
Dude, there's this guy that I used to play on the mini tours with that's plus 500 top 25, which is insane. Or top
that's nuts.
20.
Good for him. What's his name?
Yeah. Rico Hoey.
Are you gonna put money on him?
No. Okay. David Puig, top 20, plus 320.
Wow. Thoughts? Why?
He's really good. He destroyed the Asian tour. He's on Live now. He got an exemption into this. Hits it really far, really high.
Okay. I like the thoughts. David Puig. I don't even know who that is, but I love it. I'm not going to put money on that, though.
I am. Because why not? I'm trying to think if I should put money on Bryson or Rory to win.
You could do both.
I could do both.
Doesn't hurt.
That's not fun. Yeah.
I always like to do 3 or 4, so I feel like I'm in it at the end. You know?
Okay, yeah. I know I get that. I like to kind of read the room after the first round.
Yeah. I usually end up placing one like after the cut lines are made too. So I placed my 3 for the start, and then I'll place more once we get closer. But yeah. All right, let me read it back. Shit, so we don't forget. Mike has Jordan Spieth plus 175, top 20. Ludwig, top 20, minus 105. And David Puig, top 20, plus 320. And then I had Justin Thomas, minus 125, top 20. Bryson, minus 110, top 10. And Minwoo Lee, plus 230, top 20.
And Brian will be tweeting that right after this podcast at Athlete Pod on X, at Traveling Athlete Pod on YouTube, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
I confused you.
And yes, you did. And Brian, next week I have a question for you that involves their cities and their mascots. Please remind me.
Oh, God. Cities and mascots? What the hell? Okay.
Is Trey Hendrickson going to get signed?
You asked me this last week. No, he's not.
He's not? That's sad.
I think he will, but not anytime soon.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Oh, shit. We got to do it again, dude. Look the lens cap out.